Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Offside Zone. This is episode number 19. I got all the boys in the studio today. We got ourselves Oswald, Kelvin in the building, Sam in the building, Cliff, and your host right now, Toby. So we just going to start off hot. So are Arsenal choking in the EPL this season, and how will the end of the season play out? So I'm gonna start with Cliff.
I mean, I predicted it, so. Okay. The thing is, we didn't expect Arsenal to be this good when we came into the season, right? So we gotta give them some allowance if they fall a little bit short behind and not win the Prem. Them coming in second is actually a good season, regardless of how everything happens. Them coming in second in the grand scheme of things is actually a good season, right? You have a young squad, you can grow, you can come back next season and be better if you keep all your pieces, right? But in terms of this season, with how things have shaped up, you literally put your hands in Man City. You literally put your future in Man City's hands. Basically, if Man City wins all their games, they win the league. But you can say the same thing for Arsenal. If Arsenal wins all their games, they win the league because you guys have to face off against each other. But the thing is, we've seen Man City do this before. We've seen them have a stretch of games where they just could not lose a game because they have Liverpool. They're competing against Liverpool and they just did not lose a game and they won the league. So if I have to bet between which team does that between Arsenal and Man City, I'm going to have to go with Man City. But it's still a good season for Arsenal. But I just got to give it to Man City.
All right, Sam, go ahead.
Yeah, I picked Arsenal, and I actually still believe in that pick. I think every team during the season goes through like ups and downs and roller coasters. I think Arsenal is kind of on like a bad streak right now. They've given up 2 games where they had a 2-0 lead, and then it ended up being a draw. Like, those are games that are pivotal to win the league. But having said that, they still have the lead in the league. They're still up, I think, by 4 points or something like that.
1 point.
So,
Yeah.
and they
4 points, but game in hand.
Yeah, 4 points with
Man
Man
City
City
has
has a game in hand. But it's still in their hands. Like, they got to play Man City. Man City got to play them. And I think Arsenal can, it's possible. I think they can still win it. No team is going to be perfect throughout the whole season. Man City had their rough streak a little earlier in the calendar year where they were tying games and dropping points here and there. And I think Arsenal's had their moment right now. But I think they need to bounce back before that Man City game. They need a big win, and I think that can motivate them to push on and win the league. I'm still believing in Arsenal though, that they will do it. I'm gonna trust them.
All right, Oswald.
As I predicted earlier this season, even though Arsenal with 10 points ahead of them, I said City is going to catch up and win the league. This is just another regular day for Arsenal, just bottling it up. Keep bottling it. Keep bottling it. I'm sorry, but I predicted this. Like I said, City's going to win the league. I'm a Chelsea fan, so I'm going to hate with a passion. I'm going to hate with a passion and hope you guys crash. London is blue. Shout out to Man City. Hey, hopefully they take over you guys.
Okay, I guess that's pretty clear for Oswald that he's not going for Arsenal. All right, Kelvin, go ahead.
I've always said it. Mine will never change. Arsenal's not winning the league. Like let's be real. They've had a great season, but winning trophies is not for them. And this is no exception. Like, they're not gonna win this league. I've always said it. City will catch up. Arsenal could be 20 points clear. They're gonna find a way to drop it. They did it last season in the top 4 race. They were like 8 points clear, and then they lost 3 games back to back to back, and then it's just never believed. Nothing's gonna change my mind. If they win it, shout out to them. but that's not happening. So yeah.
What's going to be important now is they can't let the pressure get to them. Like, especially like somebody like Saka, like he missed that penalty, which could turn out to be huge. Like they gotta hope that the pressure don't start getting to the players, like that start creeping in the back of their head. Like, are we gonna bottle it again or whatever? Because I think at their best they can beat Man City, but like if the pressure gets to them, then yes.
That's the thing though, but I think the pressure is already there because they went up 2-0 versus Liverpool. Like how they've been playing this season, like you expect them to see that game out, but begging, like we get it, it's Anfield, like the crowd, like they never really do great there. And then again at West Ham, like there's like no excuse to again go 2-0 up and then just let it go. So I think the pressure, they're feeling the pressure for sure, like in the locker room, and they just need to find a way to overcome that. I don't think they will because again, it's just at Arsenal don't like to win stuff, so I'm just gonna go for City.
All right. All right. I guess I'll chime in a little since I'm the only Arsenal representative here. But I think that Arsenal has slipped up in terms of like the last couple games. And to be fair, I mean, going away to Liverpool, you know, you're not expected to win there, if I'm being honest with you. But at the end of the day, they were up 2-0. And as champions or champions elect or challenging for the championship, you can't let stuff like that happen when you're 2-0 up and then you slip up. That nutmeg from Zinchenko just had the whole team shattered. And then you bring that attitude into the next game after you're cruising after the 10-minute mark. So that was definitely no excuse. So I definitely think they've slipped up. But at the end of the day, I think I saw something about like Gary Neville and what he said, or Gary Neville, what he said. And he was like, you know, if you would have taken an opportunity in the beginning of the season to have basically one game that determines if you can win the league or not, Arsenal would have taken that any day of the week. And at the end of the day, it's up to those boys to come out there and beat Man City. That's been the rival the whole season. Nobody else has come close. Nobody else plays as good football as those two in the country at the moment. And at the end of the day, it's still in their hands to go out there and defeat Man City. Yeah, we haven't won in a long time, but one game offs or games that are crucial, at the end of the day, they speak for itself. If we go there, do the business, win the rest of the games, just like Man City, they go there, beat us, win the rest of the games. Whoever wins is a champion. And I think that it's possible. Obviously, as an Arsenal fan, I'm supporting my team to win. And it's as simple as that. Also, I would like to bring up a very unique perspective, which is the fact that, yeah, this team, it's a young team, and I feel like there is a lot of pressure that comes outside of just not even playing on the field. Because if you're looking at their style of play, they're calm, they're collective, they pass the ball around. But then when you bring emotion into it and how the fans feel and how they get on them and how, you know, fans play a role in how Arsenal play, I think it's significant because you have, you know, a bunch of platforms every single day that probably talked about Arsenal slipping up since the first week of the Prem season. So when you put all that into it and you compare to like how other teams are perceived or received when they're challenging for a title, like Liverpool and Man City, at another perspective, they could be like, man, Arsenal are really challenging these Man City side that have dominated the league for the last 7 years, that have won 5 out of the last 7 years and had a team that had to basically go undefeated in order to defeat them. Or they could spin the perspective and say, oh, this is an Arsenal team that doesn't spend as much money or doesn't have as strong as a bench compared to a Man City team that could put out a starting 11 times 2, that they're taking them to the ends of the road for the Prem season. But nah, because of the way our perception is received and how our fans are catered towards Arsenal, it's the other way around. We say we're bottling it, this and this and that. Time will tell, and we'll see.
They gotta. That's what they're supposed to do. If you are a Leicester City, if you're a Newcastle, then yeah, we can give y'all your accolades for having less of a squad and coming up. But you're Arsenal. You're supposed to be in this mix. It used to be the top 4, and then Man City came as top 5, and Liverpool and all of that. Y'all supposed to be in the mix.
Yeah.
Y'all supposed to be in the mix. Y'all not. We're not supposed to give you your accolades for coming second. That's part of it. That's part of being a top squad.
Never said that. I simply said we never sit there and say Liverpool are bottling it.
I mean,
we sit there and say and gauge it like these guys are going to war with each other, and one is the underdog and one is clearly the superior team with the finances and whatever involved. That's all I'm saying. So, now this is the first time y'all seen Arsenal, like in the at least recent years, actually challenge the top side like Man City like this. Otherwise, we've been seeing Liverpool versus Man City. And all I'm saying is we spin the block for them and say it's a battle of the Goliaths going to war. I've never heard anybody say Henderson is bottling it or anybody's bottling it.
So
when they
play
Man City,
it goes more to the history of Arsenal, though.
Yeah.
Like, because of how dominant they used to be, and then there have been occasions since then. Since I think the last time they won the title was 2004 or something. But yeah, so since then they've had opportunities to win the league, but they didn't get there. And I think because of that, the whole bottling thing has begun because like that's the history.
So has Liverpool.
But the thing is, when Liverpool was going to war with Man City, there was almost reaching 100 points. Like you guys had a gap over them, and that's why we're saying you're bottling it because you're low key bottling it. You're dropping points. You're dropping points when you have a sizable lead. When Liverpool gave up, when they had Suarez and Stevie G slipped. What did we say? We said they bottled it.
They bottled it, yeah.
So you can't just let that gap go and then you expect people to just give you your credit, even though you guys had a good season.
And just to go off of that too, like before Liverpool won their first title and like the COVID year, nobody actually believed like if I remember like they were gonna do it, so like they just smashed it completely, and then after they won that title, the narrative changed to like the two Goliaths are going at it. So I think like for Arsenal to be viewed as like a top dog, like how and also like they won the Champions League and then they won the leagues. Like they had that credit in the bank for people to view them as like they're up to par with Man City. Arsenal hasn't done that yet. So like it would be like what exactly are we giving them credit that they're gonna do it like based on what? Because like they haven't shown in the past 20 years that they can win the title. Granted, if they win it this year, definitely next year, like they're gonna be seen as a top dog, like a top team. And I think like even if they finish like second, like there's still like the conversation around them next year is gonna be different. But the conversation now, like the bottling thing, is I think it's well deserved. It's like you don't really have you haven't shown otherwise. Like the recent history has always been them falling short when it comes to like the crunch end of the business, and that's why I think it is the way it is right now.
Anybody else have anything to say on Arsenal slip-ups in recent times?
Bottling it.
Arsenal will come and prevail, and we will all be there. Don't worry. We'll all be there.
It's gonna be a sad day.
But talking about crushing it, so we have somebody at Man City that's ridiculously crushing it right now. Um, you have Haaland scoring goals. You have Kevin De Bruyne providing assists. It seems like the whole Man City team is, just catching their drift right now. Like they're catching their rhythm right now. So, do you think that's down to the coach? So I would ask, if Pep three-peats in the EPL and wins the treble at another club, should he be considered the greatest coach of all time? And I'm gonna let Sam start off with that.
Personally, I kind of already think Pep might be the best coach of all time. Just because of how he changes the culture completely at a club and changes how players perform and on an individual level and then on a team level. Like you see him change players to become better performers after they work with him. But accomplishment wise, I mean, if he three-peats, like we're just ignoring and bypassing the fact that he's about to three-peat in the EPL, the toughest league in the world, and nobody really even cares that much because it's become so normal to him. Like, and that's the thing about Pep. He makes winning seem so normal everywhere he goes. And like you can argue that he's went to like some of the best clubs in those countries, but at the same time, Man City was not doing this before Pep was there. They had a list of coaches that were there and they weren't winning like they are now. Like they could arguably win a three-peat in the EPL. I don't think any team's done that in the last several years. So I think Man United might have been the last team to do that in Sir Alex Ferguson's time. So I think if he three-peats in the EPL, then he wins a treble by winning the UCL with Man City for the first time ever. I mean, I already think he's the greatest coach of all time. So I would probably say yeah.
All right, Kelvin, what you think?
I don't think so. I think Sir Alex Ferguson is just like the greatest of all time, and just if you look at his coaching career, yes, Pep has won, but you can argue too, like he's had everything a coach would want to succeed. If you look at the way Man U is now since Ferguson left, like it's a completely different organization. Like with Ferguson, they won 13 Premier League titles, and like he did several rebuilds over those years. He has the Champions League, and I think did he win like the not the Champions League, but the European Cup with
Cup Winners' Cup
with Aberdeen.
Aberdeen,
oh yeah,
one of
Like
those.
what's an Aberdeen? You know what I'm saying? So like he, no offense to Aberdeen fans out there, but Ferguson had shown that like he's the greatest to me. He's just that guy. Like what he's done, he dominated the Premier League. When he was in it, it was literally Man U, and then Chelsea and Arsenal would peek their head in there a little bit, but it was his league, and I think for Pep to overcome him, I think he just needs to keep winning. Like he needs to surpass his accomplishments in order for me to change my mind on that. And yeah,
True. All right, Cliff, what you feel?
yeah, I gotta agree with Kelvin. Like Sir Alex Ferguson has more Premier League victories than Pep has even been in the Premier League. Like he has more championships than the number of years that Pep has even been here. So to call him the greatest coach of all time when Sir Alex Ferguson has done all this is I can't do that. I can't do. And I like Pep too, and I like the fact that he's revolutionized with his style of tiki taka, with just his organization, and he just plays beautiful football. But man, like Sir Alex Ferguson has just done so much, and even you can say that Pep has been granted everything that he's been put in the biggest clubs of all time. Like he's managed Barcelona, won one Champions League, and hasn't won a Champions League since.
Two.
He won two. Oh, 2008. Yeah. He won 2008. Yeah, he won 2 Champions League, but he hasn't won a Champions League since, even though he's coached Bayern and he's been in Man City ever since and dominated the league. But what has he done since? So I can't really give it to Pep yet unless he proves it over time, And even still, like, it's even with all that Pep has been given, it's still hard to argue against Sir Alex Ferguson with how he came into Manchester United when they haven't even won a Premier League for like 20 something years. That was nah.
All right. Oswald, how you feel?
Yeah, in terms of longevity, I would give it to Ferguson. But in terms of style of play, it's easily Pep Guardiola. I can't blame Pep Guardiola for being in his generation. This is how the football is nowadays because you need money. You need money. You cannot succeed without money whatsoever nowadays. Because back then, coaches had, a lot of grace. You could give a coach, a couple million. He would use that, build his team, and they would grow together and it will improve. So I think I'll say Ferguson as of now, but I'll give Pep Guardiola 5 more years, and we'll see from there. But Ferguson has done so much for the Premier League that it's the only person that can surpass that is Pep Guardiola. Only if he stays there for that long. I'm just saying, that's just the truth. It's the only person that can surpass that. He has the highest amount of points in a single season. And I don't think I've ever seen a team dominate a whole league, a whole season of possession by just, possessing the ball. It's pretty much impossible to get the ball away from Man City. Like I said, I'll say Ferguson as of now, but within the next five years, Pep Guardiola is going to just take over.
I think Brighton has better possession stats than Man City, but
I'm saying the entire season, that's cap. Like in the whole season?
Yeah, you can look it up.
In
Brighton
the
is
whole
OC with possession. Yeah.
I know they are, but I'm not saying like now, I'm saying in general, like they would play from game 1 to game 38, dominate the whole game in possession. And they could play with 10 men and they would still dominate the possession. So it's insane. It's insane.
True. Well, I mean, I think Pep's best attribute is actually the fact that he's an amazing motivator. Yes, he's a tactician of the game, and he's a really good thinker of the game. When he needs to make changes, he does that. When he needs to come up with a new idea, he does that. But his style of play should be pointed out that it was an adopted style of play. Yes, he grooved it and he made it his own thing and he mastered it. But at the end of the day, it is an adopted style of play. When you look at the Cruyff system, when you look at who he adopted the Barcelona team from, the previous manager, it's like he took it and then he made it better, basically. And then now that is what a lot of other teams employ. So when you look at that, it's like he literally was not necessarily given that, but he was definitely given a head start in terms of this is what you can work with. These are one of the best players in the world. Go ahead and make it shine. You feel me? So when you look at that and how that has tailored throughout his career, when he went to Bayern, they were the most dominant team, and they still are. They're one of the most dominant teams in the world. They had a Philip Lam. They had they had legends at the club still there. They had a Ribéry. They had a Robin. You understand? When he comes to Man City, they give him a blank check and say, buy whoever you want. And honestly, I think as much as we want to say he breaks records and stuff like that, you're breaking records with Bayern Munich in Germany. What does that even mean? What does that even mean? Okay. It's Bayern Liga, like we like to describe it. Okay? You're breaking records with Man City. Kudos to him for doing that. But guess who Man City are? Yeah, exactly. So I actually think that doesn't really help his case when you compare him to coaches like a Sir Alex Ferguson that are taking teams from the dirt, like from the dirt, bringing them up and turning them into amazing teams and dynasties. Honestly,
See, my thing is like you can't really blame a person for being in the position that they are in, though. You know what I'm saying? Like you want Pep to go and coach Southampton or something, like to prove himself. Like I don't think really, because look, this is going to be a wild example, but I can put this example right here. We look at Ronaldo, right, or look at Messi.
Mm-hmm.
Ronaldo's played in the best clubs. We talk about him dominating every league he went to, but he went to the best club in every league he's been to. Real Madrid is the best club in Spain. They're the biggest club in Spain. Juventus is the biggest club in Italy. Man United is the biggest, along with Liverpool club. They're the biggest club in England. But that doesn't mean that Ronaldo's merits are not up to par because he's played with the biggest teams in world football. You know, like you want him to go to what? You want him to go play for Getafe to prove himself? Nah, you can still be good if you have like the resources around you to help you be good. That's not really his fault that he's in that position. But I understand the argument though, for sure. Like you can definitely say that Sir Alex did more with less than Pep. So I get the argument.
Even with that analogy, you could come back and literally say Ronaldo, he won everything he was supposed to win at those clubs. He did. Pep hasn't. And that's my point. After he left, just like how Cliff just said, after he left Barcelona, he hasn't won what they literally propped him to do. They didn't bring him in and make him the highest paid coach of all time to come and be winning Prems. Yes, that's cool. They're building a nice Prem, whatever. But they won the Prem outside of Pep Guardiola. Bayern Munich has won the title 10 years in a row outside of Pep Guardiola. So it's not like they need him to come there and win those. They want him to win the Champions League, and he has not proven that.
But once again, you can say the same thing about Ronaldo. Like
what?
he went to Juventus and he didn't win the Champions League.
He went to Man U and he won. He went to Real Madrid and he won.
Okay, Ronaldo also went to Juventus, right? Juventus had won the Serie A for I think 10 straight years as well, just like Bayern was winning in the Bundesliga. And Pep still has the opportunity to win the Champions League. That's kind of why we're asking the question. Like if he does win that.
If he does win that, it helps his case. But I'm saying from everything that we've seen so far, it's not helping his case. Because if I was to bring up this question right now too, look at Jose Mourinho's career. Like it's ridiculous when we sit here, and I don't know why we don't bring him in the conversation whenever we bring up Pep, because he has taken teams that are in the dirt and actually built them into a dynasty. When you look at what he did at Porto, insane. He doesn't get credit for that enough. When you look at what he did at Chelsea, to come in there, win the league, and then to go 140 games at home without losing, that's like a span of like 4 years without whatever years.
Yeah.
Then to win treble.
I think one thing that hurts him is his tenure at Real Madrid, because he had that squad.
And he still won the league against Pep, though.
Yeah, but he didn't win the Champions League, and he had the most expensive squad in football.
He didn't win the Champions League, but he's won a European trophy with 4 teams now.
Nah, it's crazy.
That's crazy.
Amazing. Like he's up there. I'm just saying, like his reputation takes a hit for that Real Madrid tenure, because
he still won something. He won the same title that Mr. Pep Guardiola won at Bayern Munich, the league title. So it's the only knock that brother has to me is Spurs, because he didn't win nothing there and nobody's ever going to win anything there. But he went to Porto, won medals. He went to Chelsea, won medals. He went to Inter, did the treble. went to Man U, basically did a domestic trouble if you want to add the Community Shield into it, but he won 3 trophies there. Then he goes to Roma right now, and he's won the European Conference League, and they're on their way to the European final right now. That's my point. The guy does not get enough credit when we're talking about these guys. And if I was to compare their careers, he's not only is he taking people from the dirt, but he's won everything. His career to me is better than Pep's.
I agree. Just for the record,
I don't know about that one. I don't know about that.
To me, it's better than Pep's.
Mourinho,
I don't know about that
and
one.
then Pep.
Nah, I don't know about that one. That one is where you get.
It's arguably better than Pep.
It's an argument for another day, though, for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I don't know about that. That's an argument, but I think Pep is better than Mourinho.
If you say he might be, you might think he's a better coach, but as far as a career, I just don't. When we're talking about if he 3-peats and wins the EPL and is he considered greatest coach of all time, and you see what the work of people like Sir Alex Ferguson has done, taking Aberdeen. Yeah,
they won against Real Madrid.
I think Pep needs specific type of players and profile to do what he does best. Whereas like Mourinho, like just give him a team and he'll make something happen. Like he's gonna create a system that fits them to get them to win something. Like he's a winner. Like he's gonna win something. Except that's Tottenham, but he's gonna leave there with something.
For me, Pep needs to do a double in the Champions League for me to consider him the best coach of all time. Because if I'm being honest with you, he should have won at least one Champions League at Bayern, and he should at least win one Champions League here. That's when I would have been like, okay, this guy is definitely in the argument as the best coach of all time, undoubtedly. But like, even if he does a 3-peat this year, they went out and bought the best striker in the land. This is his 5th year? And they're buying the best again. They're buying the best players in the land. If they don't win this year with the guy in form right now, they bottle
this year's curtains.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but one thing I want to add that Sir Alex Ferguson did do kind of like the same thing that Pep did when you talk about buying the best player, like when he bought Cantona and when he bought Van Persie. But I will say that the difference
there are
between
better players out there, but okay.
The difference between Ferguson and Pep is I think Ferguson has a reputation of developing players more than Pep, because when you talk about the class of '92, I don't think Pep has actually really developed a player. All the players that he's won with has either been there before he got there or they bought him.
Yeah, like they're good. Like I'm not saying he doesn't enhance them, but they're good. Yeah. Because he's a great motivator. That's what I think. That's what I actually think his biggest attribute is. When you watch him and he's telling these guys in the locker room, that guy's the best motivator I've probably ever seen. He'll be, we need to win this, guys. This is not for you. This is for us. Like, that's the type of, so for good players, he takes them to another level. But the crazy thing is they have to be renowned players basically already. Otherwise, he ain't even want no parts of them, as we've seen.
That's crazy.
Like, he's not going to take a Zaniolo and turn him into the prodigy that wins a European trophy. That's all I'm saying. But it's all good. Since we're talking about renowned stars of the world, so should Haaland be favored for the Ballon d'Or right now? I'm gonna start with Kelvin.
Right now, like today.
Right now.
He's probably not the favorite because Messi has the World Cup, and like right now, like Haaland just has the goals, and he hasn't won like a trophy yet to back it up. But I could see a situation where at the end of the season, if they do get the Prem and the Champions League, then yeah, he should definitely get the Ballon d'Or over Messi. But right now, if the voting was today, it would have to go to Messi, just because he does have numbers, and then he has the World Cup, and they're probably going to win their league anyway. So yeah.
True. Okay, Sam, what you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think because of the World Cup, how big that is, I think Messi probably still would have the majority of the vote. But by the time the vote happens, that hype might have died down, and depending on how the season plays out for Haaland, he could end up winning that. Like if they win the Prem and then Champions League, like Kelvin said, like I think I think it should go to him personally because I think the World Cup hype will be a little died down by that time, and then like if Haaland goes crazy in the semifinals and the finals, that's going to be happening around the time that the voting is going to be up. So I think it depends on how the end of the season plays out, in my opinion. But for now, I think Messi has it just because he got that World Cup in the bag. So
All right, Oswald.
Yeah, majority of the time when a World Cup is around, the hype is way bigger than any other competition. I mean, it's the biggest competition in the world. Um, I still think Messi's gonna win the Ballon d'Or. It's unfortunate for Haaland unless he scores maybe 20, 30 goals by now to the end of the season. I don't see that happening at all.
What?
Listen, only if he does that, but I still think Messi's still going to take the Ballon d'Or just because of the World Cup. Carry this whole team from the start all the way to the final, which played the tournament. So, and a lot of people consider him as the greatest player of all time. So he just cemented that by just winning the World Cup. So I don't even see Haaland being very close. Honestly,
even if he wins the Champions League and the Premier League, though,
I don't
scores a goal in the final.
I don't even see that, honestly, because I'm telling you, like the hype, I feel like they're trying to send off Messi, give him his trophy. You did your thing. Have a good, have a blessed life. Retire well. That's it.
Another trophy for Messi would spank, man. like Ronaldo gonna be sick off of that. But Slim, how you feel, bro?
Now the Messi bias is actually very real.
It's hot.
It's real, especially in the Ballon d'Or. No, for real. It actually is because sometimes I'm even like, damn, I don't know if Messi really deserved that Ballon d'Or, but it's okay. We'll give it to him. I'm not mad at it. But if it happens this year, I think if Haaland wins the Champions League and is the top scorer, let's even add if Haaland breaks the single season Champions League goal scoring record. I don't know what his tally is now. If he does all of that, Champions League title, breaks all the records, and they still don't give it to him, that's kind of mad.
Yeah,
that's kind of like in normal years, the World Cup is in the summer, so you got that hype. Right afterwards, World Cup just happened, but now World Cup was all the way, in the Christmas. So it's not gonna happen. I don't think it's gonna happen if Haaland does all of that. Even if Haaland doesn't do all that, the way PSG like crashed out is kind of leaving like a bad taste in everybody's memory of Messi. So you don't. I think that's already swaying people off voting for Messi. So. Yeah,
Haaland has the opportunity to actually break the all-time English record for scoring, the Champions League all-time record for scoring in one season, the Golden Boot in one season. Like that's insane.
You know what his tally is in the Champions League right now?
He has 12.
He has 12 goals in the Champions
League. Yeah, his record is like 17.
Yeah. I don't think he's gonna break that though.
He could. Bro,
he got 4 more games.
He could, but
I would actually hate for him to break that. At number one, that means Ronaldo have nothing to it.
If he don't break it this year, he's gonna break it at some point though.
But yeah, that would be sad.
Yeah,
that would be kind of sad though. At least for the essence of the Champions League, because Champions League's supposed to be hard. So, like, I don't want him to come in there, break the record at 22, and then next thing you know, he's just nobody's really caring about the top league scorer. Because if you're looking at but people that have played in the Champions League, like I think it's good that someone like a Ronaldo is at the top of that because it shows that you have to work a certain amount of time. Like you look at the top scorers in the Champions League, they're all Hall of Fame greats of all time. So for him to get it that early, yeah, that would even be tough. But
that would be tough.
that would be tough for
It
him.
would be the
It'd
same
be cool
thing
for
Messi and
him.
Ronaldo were doing when they were young too. They were breaking
Yeah.
everybody's record.
It was at least like a back and forth. Mbappe not even in the competition no more, bro. He not even. There's nobody. Who is he facing? That's what I'm saying. There's
Nobody
nobody
cares, bro.
going back and forth with. Like at least there was the rivalry that you had to work harder than the other person. To, they're battling out greatness. What is Haaland just cruising?
Yeah, and Mbappe got to catch up.
That's what happens when you're the greatest goal scorer of all time.
That was solidified
just
for real.
you know?
Nah, not yet. It wouldn't solidify
competition.
yet. I give it 5 years. Then he was solidified because he
I'm
might.
calling it now. Barring any injuries, ain't nothing
Yeah,
stopping.
barring injuries. That's what I was about to say. If he gets, God forbid, but if he gets injuries and stuff like that, you never know how that can, derail somebody's career. When Ronaldo, he got that knee injury, I don't think he was ever the same.
Nope.
So,
It wasn't the same.
and speaking about Ronaldo, we're gonna go into our last question of the day. Would you rather Ronaldo at 22 or Haaland at 22? That's a tough one. All right, I'm gonna let Oswald go first since he thinks it's easy.
It's an easy one for me. Come on, man. I mean, I'll say this, right? We don't have Nike commercials advertising Haaland as hard as they used to do back in the day with Ronaldo at 22. Ronaldo at 22 was one of the most exciting players we have ever seen. Man's came up with free kicks. Everybody knows that stance when Ronaldo does his little. Everybody knows that. Come on, man. At 22, Haaland did not have. He has his boots, but he did not have his own special brand. Those Superfly Vapors back then. Come on, man. Ronaldo scoring goals, dribbling. Like he was one of the most exciting players that we've ever seen. Just kick a ball. At 22, he was at Man U, scoring free kicks, just dribbling, dazzling the fans, like getting us hyped up. Like we was so excited just to watch Ronaldo at the time. On like Haaland, he's there. He's a great player. But he's not like exciting to watch. Come on. Compared to Ronaldo, he's not excited. He's not taking on players. He's not dribbling. He's just the perfect goal scorer. That's about it. Yeah. Ronaldo did that and more.
Yeah. Overall, for me, I'll always give it to Ronaldo at a young Man U. Free kicks, dribbling. The assist was even wild. He was doing Rabona assists at that point. That man was striking it from long range, heading, finishing. He had everything a soccer player needed to have. And then the only fault though, was at 22, you can argue that Ronaldo wasn't as deadly as he is now. And that's for sure. When you look at the goal tally for the two, Ronaldo at the age of 22 had only 60 or about 60 senior career goals. Now, Haaland at 22, when he turned 22 in July, imagine how much he has now, but when he turned 22 in July, he had already scored 147 career goals. That is more than double Ronaldo's tally. And that says a lot. Like it's that to me, that's not necessarily just goal scoring. That's somebody that knows the game to the point where he's a complete poacher at the age of 22, and he knows where to get to his spots, and he's efficient enough to continually score. And that's one of the things that we praise Ronaldo when he became into his prime. So I think it is important that we give recognition to Haaland for doing that or eclipsing that at such a young age at 22. So if it was me off of overall, I would pick Ronaldo. But if we're going off of statistics and form, Nobody's touching Haaland, man. 147 goals at 22 is unheard of. So that's my take. Sam, what you think?
Yeah. I always say Ronaldo at Man U was one of the best players I've ever seen. I'm not gonna lie. Everything he used to be able to do at Man U when he was in that form, when he could take on players and dribble past players and shoot free kicks from anywhere on the field, long range shots, passing, playmaking. I think that's personally my favorite Ronaldo. If you tell me to watch one Ronaldo highlight, I'm going to Man United Ronaldo easily. And I think Haaland, he's just more of an efficient scorer. But like, if you want to take a player that's just gonna be able to change the game in any way, because I feel like Haaland, he needs to have the teammates that put him in the right positions to be successful as well. Like a lot of his assists come from De Bruyne. That's one of the best playmakers in world football. Obviously, Haaland has the ability to be in the right spots, but like he wouldn't be doing that if he wouldn't be doing it at this level if he wasn't playing with those players that he has at Man City. And I think Man United Ronaldo was just on another level. One of the most exciting, electrifying players I've ever seen. So I would take Ronaldo at 22 personally. But efficiency, Haaland is definitely probably the most efficient player at that age we've ever seen.
Yeah, I actually like that because to bring up another point, it's like you have to coach Haaland. Like Haaland is one of the players where you have to coach to a certain degree. You have to get the best form out of him. You have to coach him. When you look at Ronaldo and your Messi's and stuff like that, and your OG Ronaldos and whoever else you want to put in that bracket, it's like you tell them go out there and do you. Like go out there and do you. For Haaland, especially when you look at the Man City setup, it's like you go here. Make sure you get open enough so that De Bruyne can pass to you. Make sure you're in this spot so that De Bruyne or somebody else can create for you. It's like it's teachable moments for him. But I feel like Sir Alex Ferguson probably just told Ronaldo, "Hey man, give it to him. Let him do magic." And when you look at Pep coaching Messi, and he said it before, give it to Messi. Just get out the way. Let him do what he do. And that was similar to the style of play that Ronaldo was exhibiting when he was at Man U. It's like you would give him the ball and he would just instantly create magic. I don't think if you give Haaland the ball, he would just if he's not close to the final third of the pitch, he's not about to just create magic. You feel me? So that's another point. But Kelvin, go ahead.
I think it's like a hard comparison. But I guess if I was building a team and I just needed a person to score goals, I would go with Haaland. Ronaldo at 22 was that guy was OC. I won't even lie. Like I used to watch his games. Like that was like my favorite time to watch soccer. Like just give him the ball and he's doing the full sprint, just dribbling and taking on everybody. So I think overall, Ronaldo is a better player than Haaland at 22. But if I just needed a person just get me some goals, just score, then I would go with Haaland. I actually disagree with Toby on like Haaland needing like a lot of coaching. I think like the stuff he does in the box, like it's natural to him. Like I don't think he has been coached to be in the right spots or like because he's been doing that since he was at Salzburg. He did it at Dortmund. Maybe not at this rate, but everybody still knew that he was that guy. Like he's gonna score, and I think it's just been elevated because he has better players around for sure. But I think like he could score in any team because I just think he's that good. But also like I feel like Ronaldo at that age, like yes, he was amazing, spectacular, very exciting, but I feel like he needed more coaching and fine tuning off his game. Like there was a story where Van Nistelrooy like made him cry because he doesn't pass the ball. Like his teammates like used to not mess with him like because they viewed him as like selfish and showboaty. So that's why he kind of remodeled his game to be more efficient. So yeah, but overall, Ronaldo's the better player. But if I had a team ready to go and I just needed like a striker, like just give me some goals, yeah, I'm going with Haaland over anybody any day.
True. All right, Cliff, what do you think?
Yeah, I think this question is kind of challenging because we have full context of what Ronaldo became, but we don't have that same hindsight with Haaland. Because when you mentioned about Ronaldo's goals, I was just looking it up and I was like, what did Ronaldo do before he was 22 that made us believe? And I think a lot of the stuff that we mentioned is valid. He was that guy. He was doing the step overs and everything. But if you look at his goal conversion, I have it pulled up now. In the 05-06, he had 9 goals. The year before he had 5. The year before he had 4. The year before he had 3. And then that's in at Sporting. So, and these are like the league goals. At 06-07, that's when he jumped up and got 17 goals in the Premier League. So would we say that, I mean, we all know Ronaldo was going to be good, but I don't think everybody really knew how good he was going to be. You know what I'm saying? At this point, we know what Haaland, well, we can project and say Haaland is going to be this type of player, but we're saying that he won't reach what Ronaldo became. But at that point, did we know Ronaldo would be that player? So, if we go back, and say we're just taking them at face value for what they were at their ages, I say, give me Haaland, give me the goals, give me what I know I'm going to get. I'm going to get a proven goal scorer. And as we said, the best goal scorer of all time, probably when he finishes playing. So, yeah, I take Haaland for what they were at 22. If you say the whole season and that the whole career, then yeah, I'd probably take Ronaldo. But yeah, we don't know what Haaland's going to be.
Yeah, that's a great point. Honestly, I would say though, you kind of do know, and obviously you don't know the whole totality of where they can end up to, especially to Ronaldo and Messi's degree. If you want to throw in Messi in there, but there is a sense of like, this guy is dazzling. Like he's different. Like I feel like I've only gotten that with certain players that undoubtedly are just going to be great. Like Mbappe, when he was at Monaco, I was like, that guy's going to be a baller. His stats might not be amazing, but you knew he was going to be one of the stars of the world. And I feel like when Ronaldo came onto the scene, at least a year after his first year, when you saw what he was doing with the ball, when he was given the opportunity to express himself and not be overly coached and just give him the ball to do what he wants, it showed that this guy is going to be special. And you know what you get with Haaland for sure. You know you're going to get more goals. Like he's going to only get better in terms of scoring goals or being consistent in terms of scoring goals. But with like a Ronaldo and Messi, the way that they went through the game and they expressed themselves, the way that they dribbled, the way that they just played, their style, that's only something you see once in a while, like once in a generation, basically. Like you look at Mbappe, how many Mbappes are really out there in terms of dazzling play, in terms of just taking over games and really being that guy? It's not that many out there. It's probably only 3 you can name. And those are the guys that he's going to be competing with for the rest of this generation. So to me, I can still say I would take Ronaldo at 22 because of his overall play.
Yeah,
he was selling it.
There's certain players that like transcend the statistics and all that. Like,
yeah,
you can see past it. Like Messi and Ronaldo when they were young, like they could go games without scoring and they would still be the clear best player on the pitch. It wouldn't even matter if they had the stats. And Haaland's not the same way. If he's not on the score sheet, you basically don't see him in the game. So like I think Messi, Ronaldo, especially when they were younger and they had the energy and the excitement about them, like they had that aura that comes with like certain players that like it doesn't matter if they actually are efficient in the statistics. They're going to change the game. They're going to be the best player on the pitch, and they're going to do something amazing every time they step on the field.
Facts.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also like, let me even throw in a bonus question out there, and because we were talking about being coached, right now, Chelsea.
Modded FC.
Right now, Chelsea are crying for a coach. So, who do you guys think will be the best person to take over that Chelsea project? And I'm gonna start with Kelvin, since he's the representative of Chelsea.
Right, Chelsea FC. The sun was shining on us again, boys. Don't worry, we're coming. But right now, they were mudded. But to answer the question, the sun was shining on us again. But to answer the question, personally, I want Nagelsmann. I know like there's like a thing between the Chelsea fan base now between Henrique versus Nagelsmann. I think Henrique got ruled out today. But I didn't really want him just based on the fact that apart from that crazy Barcelona team that he had, like he hasn't really done anything like in, in coaching. Like you take that team that had Messi, Neymar, Suarez, like you're expected to win stuff, right? And then also I feel like if we get him, like we're gonna have to sign more players because he plays in a specific kind of way, and like if he views the players that we do have now, it's not up to par. That's more money getting spent, and I want to be in a situation where we clear out the deadwood, and then we have a coach that's coming in to take over. Like maybe just get like a DM, new goalie, and then like we're straight in. Like it's not now we have to remodel the team and this and that, and that's why I think Nagelsmann would be the perfect fit because he's the type of coach that can work with the players that he has, and do something with them. And also like he's worked with Nkunku in the past, and he's coming in, so I think overall he's also young, and how we're trying to do the project. I think it would be a situation where, as a young coach, he gets to grow with a young team, and hopefully we have our own Sir Alex Ferguson. Hopefully, but I think the job should go to him because he's shown with Hoffenheim, like he took them from a relegation team, and eventually, like they made it to the Champions League. Did the same thing with RB Leipzig. They were really not winning much, and then he took them to regularly showing up in the Champions League. I think they went to the semifinal at one point. So he's shown that he can bring a team like a struggling team, which Chelsea is now. Like they're just lacking any confidence and instill some will to win in them. And as for Enrique, like again, like apart from, yes, he's a great coach and blah blah, but apart from that MSN season, it doesn't really give me enough confidence that he can, because we don't have Messi, Suarez, and Neymar on our team, and like that doesn't give me enough will that he's gonna get the job done that we need. But yeah, I think we should definitely just go for Nagelsmann and see what happens next year.
Yeah, I would say Nagelsmann has not done anything on paper as well, though. If I'm being critical,
Mm-hmm.
I personally think he hasn't. He has not won anything.
He won the league with Bayern. I mean, you can say it's Bayern, but
sorry, outside of last year, before Bayern, before he got fired from Bayern, he's won nothing. But I do think that he could take this trash Chelsea, current form of Chelsea, and actually relate to them more, especially with the points that Kelvin brought up. They're a young side, and he's a young person. And when you look at the type of players that are already there, you look at a Havertz who's German. You look at Nkunku who's coming from the German league, and you look at the other young players that they have, like a Mudryk and the rest of them boys. They're all kind of young, and I think they need somebody that's charismatic, but at the same time, I also really, really think they need a leader. Like, there's no leaders on that team right now other than Thiago Silva. And I feel like Enrique would have came in and said, you're gone. Look, like Oprah, you get to go. All of y'all get to go. You feel me? He would have walked in there and just said, you're not good enough. Clipped. Like, why is Hall trying to do left wing back? You should go back to the academy. Why is Chukwemeka trying to start? Go back to the academy. The rest of them just leave. You feel me? He would trim that squad down to the sizable size that they're really supposed to be. And Thiago Silva touched on it, which is the fact that they went out there, they bought a bunch of players, and they literally had to change the dressing room of Chelsea. Like, they had to make it bigger. And then at that point, everybody's not satisfied with playing every single time. And my only critique for Nagelsmann in that sense is that he's not proven to be somebody that can handle big room locker rooms. Like, he's not somebody that's proven to handle a bunch of personalities trying to talk to him at the same time to get a start. And I feel like if he goes to Chelsea and he doesn't be that ruthless guy that Chelsea needs, that charisma can be taken the wrong way. And then it could end up being a bad situation where he doesn't have control of the boardroom, or it's too much of an overwhelming situation for himself. And I feel like with Luis Enrique, if he comes in, there's no room for that. Luis Enrique is all business. Like, the guy is just straight up serious. If you're not with it, he's not even going to play you, even if the guys want you to come play for him. And that's my point. Nagelsmann, he might try to maintain that relationship with Bully, try to play what the board wants, try to keep other players happy in the board. Keep other players happy in the locker room, even though some other players might feel like they shouldn't be playing. And I think right now, y'all, in between a Nagelsmann, y'all need somebody that comes in and really, like, critically looks at the squad and says, you guys cannot play for Chelsea. That's what I think.
I don't think like the team that we have now is going to be the same team next season, that when, regardless of the coach, like whether it's Enrico or Nagelsmann, like people are getting sold. Like, we're trying at least to sell at least 10 players off that squad. So I think the squad is going to get trimmed down a lot, like regardless of who takes over. More so is just, I guess, which coach is suited to work best with the players that are left over. And I think Nagelsmann too has worked with a lot of members on our board before at RB Leipzig. And you said something about, like, I think at Chelsea what they're really trying to get is everybody working together as a team, from the board down to the coach, down to the players. And I feel like you touched on, like, Enrique is just gonna come and try to do his own thing, and that's not really what Chelsea is looking for. If you look at the boards of every successful team in the past, it's usually just everybody working together as a unit, and not just like a coach trying to say, oh, I want this, I want that. No. Like, it has to be a team play, which is also why I think Nagelsmann would just be better. Like, the concern about him not winning stuff is, I would say, like, he's shown that he can do a lot with less. Maybe not win the league title, but taking a team that was fighting for relegation all the way to the top four, I think deserves a lot of credit. And then RB Leipzig, like, who are they to like, if literally they got created in 2009, like, and he got them to the semifinals. Yes, and then he went to Bayern, and he's shown, like, if you put him in the system, he can win you a league. Yes, it's Bayern, but he still won the league. If we get into why he got fired, you can say the same thing for Tuchel. Everybody gets fired. I don't really think that's a knock on him. Maybe it wasn't working at Bayern. I don't think he got fired because, like, the team was terrible and blah blah. I think it's more so for personal reasons, the same way that Tuchel got fired. So I think and that's what the board is trying to, like, take their time and do the homework, like, look into, can we actually work with this guy before they hand a person the job. So I think he should get it, but we'll see what happens soon enough.
All right, real quickly, Sam, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm kind of on the fence about it, because I think Nagelsmann would definitely be a more seamless fit
Mhm.
into the behind the scenes workings of Chelsea. He's worked with people that are on the board, and I think he would also identify more with the squad players than Enrique would. And I think ultimately that's probably why he might end up being the next coach of Chelsea. But I think Enrique would probably be the better signing just because that's a coach, like Toby said, that's a coach that's like no nonsense. Like
Mhm.
he would come there to do business and get the job done, and he doesn't take nonsense from anybody. Talking about a guy that went toe to toe with Messi and like sat him on the bench before. Like he doesn't care. Like if you're not going along with his system, he's not gonna rock with you.
You're not
And
rocking.
that's what Chelsea needs. Honestly,
Mhm.
they need somebody. They need a leader to really like put their foot down in the locker room and be like, "This is the way it's gonna go," and there's no two ways about it. But I think because Nagelsmann would be more of a easy fit, Chelsea probably
Mhm.
easy way about it and pick him up. And I think both of them are credible coaches. They both haven't won too much, but I think whoever they get, I think it's gonna be. I think they have a good enough squad to turn around what
Yeah, do better than whatever garbage this
and actually
is.
like compete for like top four. Not for the title, but like top four probably.
Which top four? Hey, we're coming for everything next year. Coach me.
Okay, nah.
We
Nah.
played the whole season without a coach, bro. Coach us next year.
Even if it was Luis Enrique, he's gonna come in and say, I want to buy some Spanish players too. That's the crazy part about it. So that's why I think ultimately they're going to go with Nagelsmann. Because for sure he's gonna be somebody that they can manipulate more,
Yeah.
like compared to Luis Enrique. And the crazy thing about it is that Chelsea really needs somebody that's a leader that literally comes in there with the no nonsense. Like I get that he relates more to the players. They're younger, of course, they're gonna relate more to the younger coach. But like all things, as we've seen, young coaches or people that are new into the game of coaching, they often get overwhelmed by locker rooms with a bunch of personalities because they can't put their foot down. When players come in, they don't give enough respect to the coach and they don't follow what they want them to do. And ultimately, it's the players that drive the coaches away out of the locker room. And I think that could be a possibility with a Nagelsmann because we've seen what he's done at Bayern. He got fired because some half of that team did not want him at Bayern anymore. And he also didn't agree with the board as well. But at the end of the day, you want somebody that could come in there and says, look, I'm the boss now. Like that movie, I'm the boss now. And
See,
that's
The captain.
I'm the
I
captain.
don't think
I'm the
that really works
captain
in football
right
anymore,
now.
to be honest. Like, just Harry Kane would be good, but it just wouldn't work. Like, he might come in again and has his own. I'm the boss now, and like the Chelsea players, they might just not be with it. Be like, well, F you too, then. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
like
they would clip him. He
like,
would get clipped. He
Yeah.
would
you
get
can't
clipped.
clip the whole. Again, it's easier to get rid of one person than
It is the whole
the whole squad. So like the coach is always gonna go first. I just think like and again, like to me, like yes, he has his hype, but he hasn't done enough for me. Like where we're at, like his only real achievement was with that Barca team, and like let's be honest, like that's probably like the greatest team of all time. Like, but outside of that, like he hasn't done anything, and like even with the Spain national team, like they play some good football, but like what did they really do? Like you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I just think Nagelsmann, because he's shown that he can do more with less, and like he's gonna be given more at Chelsea. So hopefully that translates to better titles and results for him. So we'll see.
Yeah.
But that's why I'm really leaning towards Nagelsmann and not really Enrique. Because like outside of that Barca team, like I'm just not impressed with his coaching.
Yeah.
He took a break though.
Chelsea-
He took a break though. That's the thing.
Yeah,
He took
valid
a
break
break
for
just
sure.
like Pep Guardiola did when he left Barcelona. So he had to take time, took a couple of years off, and then came back on the scene and took over Spain. But I mean, you guys all made some great points, though. I personally, I would like to see Enrique, just because he's a little bit older. He will command a lot more respect compared to someone like Nagelsmann, who's like what 35 or so. If you see him, you're like, bro, I'm your age, bro. Like, come on.
Thiago.
Thiago Silva. That's facts right there.
But Thiago doesn't have an ego though.
No,
Thiago's
he
not that
does.
kind of guy.
He
Let's
does, bro. Thiago
allow
Silva
that.
has
He's
some
not that kind of
respect.
guy.
listen,
Bro, he
no,
is.
though,
He
but
has
he's
his
not.
tendencies, bro. He's the one
He's
that
not
came
that
out
kind of guy.
recently and said, "Hey guys, yeah, the board made a mistake by buying all these people." He's the one he just said that after our last game at Sky Sports. He said the board made a mistake buying all these guys in the locker room, and everybody isn't happy because they don't get to play. And hopefully, the summertime changes everything. Otherwise, next season it might be the same thing. To me, you have to gain the respect of that guy in order to control the rest of the locker room. Like how Jose Mourinho, John Terry would be his guy. John Terry will go inside your locker room and say, before Mourinho come in there, and John Terry will come in there and say, "Hey, y'all respect what this guy's doing." That's the type of people you have to win over. And I don't know if Nagelsmann is going to win certain personality battles within that locker room compared to a Luis Enrique. That's all I'm saying.
I think the Thiago thing is overblown. Like what he said was a fact that we all know. Like we need to sell players in the summer. Like I don't think like anybody on the Chelsea board is sitting there thinking next season, yes, we're gonna keep everybody and then add some more. No, like that's gonna happen. Like we're gonna sell players. Like that's a fact. Well, hopefully
Bad to hear,
people
though,
buy
man.
him. Lukaku better start learning that Arabic because he's gone.
It's bad. it's bad to hear.
Everybody
though,
getting
bruh.
so like so that's
It's
gonna
bad
happen.
to hear, bruh.
There's gonna be a clear out. So
If your captain is there throwing the board under the bus like that, I'm not even trying to slice it like that. He is y'all captain.
Aspie's our captain.
Aspilicueta.
Thiago's not even our assistant captain.
He hasn't won the armband in last game.
He's won it before,
Okay.
just like when there are injuries, like other players were the armband. But he's not the captain of Chelsea.
He's one of the biggest leaders on that team for sure. That is not arguable, right?
Yes.
The most experienced player in that whole
What
roster.
I'm saying is,
I don't think he's the type to cause a rift in the locker room, though.
When an experienced player come out there and he's calling the board out, and that board is making such critical decisions in Chelsea as we see it, as you guys mentioned, I think there's a bit of a rift between the players currently and the board at least. So when you look at a situation like that, you need somebody that's going to come in there and mitigate, plug in them holes. And I feel like the players, they want a certain type of coach, but I don't think that certain type of coach is the exact type of coach that the board wants. Hence why we've seen Potter go. Hence why we're seeing the performances under Lampard right now. I don't even think they relate to the players.
Lampard's not a coach, please. Let's be real.
With that bro. He's just a legend.
That guy's not the coach. It's just
Cliff
brought him because the fans were crying. It was up to me. We should have just kept Potter, finish out the season, and then just restart. Like if they want to fire him, just last game of the season, be like, I bet, bro. Good luck. But bringing in Lampard, that shows we stood a better chance with Potter against Real Madrid than we ever did.
That shows how far the players are in terms of ideology to the board. They're not connected at all. So Cliff, go ahead, bro.
Yeah, I hate that Enrique and Nagelsmann are the only options that we even mentioned. Like, I don't like, for the reasons that you said, I don't like either one of them. I don't like Nagelsmann because I feel like he can be, he doesn't command as much respect as some of these other coaches that are out here. And I don't like Enrique because he really hasn't proven himself. Like, I feel like Barcelona won in spite of him more than because of him. But, there's other coaches out here, like some coaches have a little bit of a question mark, but Zidane is out there, even though he might not know English. You know,
Oh my
Oh
god.
my God,
Pochettino,
Going to Chelsea, bro.
Pochettino is out there. You know, his record. He doesn't have as much. You know, win like he hasn't won as much. But you know, you have other coaches out here. Even Conte that they just sacked. You know, you can bring Conte. Conte has the respect and he has the accolades.
Please, hell no. We're not
Conte
taking
already
that.
coached Chelsea though. Why would they bring
Yeah,
him?
but the thing is, they brought coaches back before. They brought Mourinho back. They brought they brought coaches back, hella coaches back.
I think
So
it's between Poch and Nagelsmann. Well, sorry. Go ahead.
yeah, Poch could come back. I mean, Poch can come to Chelsea, and I honestly think it's going to be a better signing than Enrique or Nagelsmann, in my opinion. But the
Y'all
thing
playing with Enrique, man, because I don't know why you guys are saying. Granted, he hasn't done anything outside of Barca, and that's cool. But bro, that's probably one of the biggest tests of all time. Yes, okay, yes on a performance wise, they're expected to do what they do. But he handled three of probably one of the biggest personalities in world football.
Yeah.
Suarez and a rising star Neymar, and then Messi in the corner looking to pass the baton, and he had three of them at the same time. He sat them there and said, "You guys will work together." And
bro,
work together.
they was already gonna work together, bro. They wanted. They
I know
was already
I
gonna
think
work
they
together.
wrong.
They
You gotta give him credit,
love
though.
playing. They love
Cliff, are
playing
you seeing what
together,
Eminem is
bro.
doing right now? Pete, Messi, Neymar, Mbappe. Come on, bro. They're not
They
different.
all love.
PSG.
As soon as
If
Suarez,
you remember that season that Barcelona won the treble, they were not playing well before the turn of the year, before January, because they were having problems in the locker room. Once Enrique turned that around and settled it, the team started performing well. So
but
like
it wasn't because of any spat between Suarez, Messi, and Neymar. They loved playing together. They were sharing goals. They were gifting goals to each other. Like they love playing together, and I feel like a lot of coaches could have succeeded in that situation.
Nah,
A lot.
Come on, y'all.
You gotta be a certain coach to be able to control a locker room with Messi, Neymar, and Suarez, bro.
Bro, you know
Not every coach
That's
can do that.
your opinion. I feel like a lot of coaches would have succeeded with Messi, Neymar, and
That's
Suarez.
not true
I feel like
at
a lot of
all.
them.
That's not true.
I feel like a lot of them.
I think Poch also just got a lot of disrespect on here. Like, why were y'all laughing at Poch?
Cause he couldn't even control the locker room, bro.
He can't control the locker room.
But Poch is, I mean, what he did at Tottenham was impressive. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Which was what?
Again, they didn't win. Hold on.
They didn't win anything. That's the thing.
Hold on.
If you want to knock that
That's the
against
biggest
Enrique,
thing. They didn't win anything,
against
right?
Nagelsmann,
But then again, Mourinho went there, Conte went there, so and so like proven winners, and they win, blah blah blah. They didn't win.
They didn't win anything. Yeah,
Bro,
they didn't
Mourinho
win.
got them to a cup final too.
They didn't win anything though.
He Champions League final.
Yeah, Poch did get them to the Champions
League.
League.
Yeah,
You
know what I'm saying? Like, let's not like, oh, Poch, like they
no,
were that team, like, like at some point, like Tottenham was one of the best teams in the Premier League with Poch.
Huh?
Let's not cap.
Oh my
god!
They were up there.
They were up there. That one year,
they had 1 year that they were like top 3 or something though.
Yeah, they came in second when the first.
Best teams is crazy.
Yeah, when Chelsea won Conte's first season, they came in second.
One of the best teams.
It's just he wanted like a rebuild, and they didn't want to pay for it, so then they fired him. And then they're still shit because they have the same players.
They were never in the conversation of actually winning the league. That's the crazy.
But that's Tottenham, though.
That's what I'm saying, and that's the only project. That's the only project that he's even gotten a slimmer of anything winning since, and he didn't win there either. He went to PSG and terrible. He couldn't handle personalities in the locker room, and that's exactly what he's going to do.
Yeah. No, but what's it called?
I mean, yes, PSG.
They did lose his first season. They did lose his first season at League PSG.
There you go.
Came in mid-season. That wasn't him like the whole time.
Lil did
win it. Yeah.
Yeah, that season doesn't really count because it wasn't his full season. He came in for Tuchel, and they were already bad, and he just took over.
Big locker rooms, bro. There's no reason why PSG should be losing that league on. Like you look at how he's been dismantled in terms of losing locker rooms. That's why he left Spurs, because he
Nah.
lost.
Mm-mm.
Yes,
Nah.
he is. He
They
lost a
lost
lot.
because he wanted to get rid of the players and they didn't want to invest. Like they still have the
Wanted to
same
get rid
players.
of-
He had higher
Sanchez,
ambitions.
Eric Dyer. Like he
Yeah.
want to get rid of them.
That's the same thing that Conte had to deal with. Conte
He
had higher
lost the
ambitions
locker
than Spurs.
room. You're literally proving the point of why he wouldn't work at Chelsea, because he he wanted to get rid of players, bro. You want Pochettino to go to Chelsea and work with the players already there. And I'm saying Pochettino, not only would he probably demand his own signing, but at the end of the day, we've seen him try to gauge or at least try to manage big personalities. It hasn't worked. The only person that we've named in here that you guys aren't trying to give credit to is Enrique, that's handled the biggest personalities of world football and had them playing in a cohesive manner. Yeah, they like playing with each other, but even them being the best of friends isn't always necessarily good on a football pitch. They might not play the same system. They might look at themselves and isolate themselves from the rest of the team. And Enrique had them playing as a whole full team, bro. That should be credited. And that's the only person.
I think the situation at Chelsea, though, like, we keep saying, like, big personalities. Like, nobody in this Chelsea team has the credit in the bank to have, like,
you say Lukaku?
Lukaku not a big personality.
Lukaku's not
a big
part of the team. Like, why we talking about
Lukaku? Not a big personality.
Why we talking about
bro?
You said who?
Bro.
Aubameyang not a big personality.
He's getting sold.
Bro,
like
he's getting sold.
Are not going to be there.
They don't
Like,
They don't affect the mood of Chelsea Football Club.
They're not going to be there next season. Why are we talking about?
But it's true. But it's the
truth. Not playing for Chelsea again.
But
they're not playing for Chelsea again.
It's the truth. You don't know that.
The main core of the young team, like the people who are actually going to play next season, there are relatively young players with a point to prove. Like they're not where Messi, Suarez, and Neymar, where like they have no right to have I guess like an ego. Like they're looking for a person to actually coach them and make them better. So I think they're going to be more receptive to actual coaching. And Nagelsmann has shown that he is a tactician, and he's not a pushover like Potter. Like yes,
oh my god,
you can say like he lost
a lot. Not a pushover
at Bayern. Yes, you can say that, but that Bayern team has actually won stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like they've done a lot of great things before he's coming in, so they have more of a right to say, "Oh, we're not going to listen to you" than anybody on Chelsea. Why? These Chelsea players are begging for a coach. They need a coach. Like the situation at Chelsea and Bayern is completely different. Like the Bayern players have every right to say we're not going to listen to you because they've been there and done that. They've won it before.
You might feel like that, but you're not going to tell me Lukaku isn't a big personality.
Lukaku is not going to be a Chelsea player. Stop.
But that's what I'm saying. You don't know
he's
that.
Not even he's not in the locker room right now.
He will be. You don't know that.
He's getting sold.
But what if Lukaku comes back from his loan and
he doesn't get sold?
Wants to keep him.
Like again, somebody has to buy.
He's not going to be a Chelsea player. Lukaku's not going to be a Chelsea player next year.
Like, unless we going off of what we know right now, not what you are theoretically
right now. Right now, Lukaku is at Inter Milan and he's not a Chelsea player. That's right now.
Right now, Inter Milan has no plans of and has not bought Chelsea player Romelu Lukaku, meaning at the end of the season he's gonna be there. That's all we know right now. So when I look at that, and you look at Aubameyang, who's also there, who also has not been sold to anybody, he's not in a pre-contract with anybody. Nobody has bought him yet. He might still be
good enough to have.
Let me ask you a question.
They're still there.
Let me ask you a question.
They're not good enough to have egos. That's what I'm saying. Like,
what do you think the first game of the season, Lukaku and Aubameyang are going to be in the Chelsea starting lineup?
They affect the
first game of the season. Come on, you just talking, bro. They're not going to be at Chelsea, bro. What's all this?
All right, bro.
He might get loaned out again. He better learn Arabic. The MLS is calling like he's not going to be a Chelsea player. Like you're trying to push this narrative of big. He's not going to be a Chelsea player. Stop.
I'm just telling you the truth. Like
the first one of the season, I promise you, Lukaku is not going to be anywhere close to that starting line. He's not going to sniff.
hopefully for you guys, he's not there, and that's kudos to you. All I'm saying is, at the current moment, whenever you watch a Chelsea game and they're talking about they're missing a striker, this and this, they cut scenes to Aubameyang on the bench looking like a pouty McPout. And that's my point. They always doing that because it's not the fact that he doesn't start. It's the fact that he's another disgruntled player in the locker room that's talking to somebody else and like, man, I'm not even starting. Man, I'm not even playing at all. Like, you have several players that are there doing that all day long, which is what I mean by they still have big personalities. They definitely might not be a starter, and you might not see Lukaku there. But at the end of the day, if they are there, are Nagelsmann the guy to do the job? And I don't think so. That's all I'm saying.
But if
That's
they're there and they're still not
gonna
starting,
be there.
if they're there and they're still not starting, what is either Nagelsmann or Enrique going to do about that? It's the club's decision to sell them that's going to change that.
They got to send them to the second team. Don't even put them on a bench. That's what Luis Enrique would do.
Why don't you just sell them?
Would do. That's all I'm saying.
They're getting sold. I don't know why.
Yeah,
we're trying
Hopefully
to act like Aubameyang and Lukaku are going to be starting for Chelsea or they're leaving.
Never know.
So, yeah,
you never know.
That's that.
You never know. But
I'm sorry. Unless the only way is if Nagelsmann is like, oh, I want to use Lukaku and like they build a relationship.
Yeah.
And
like Tuchel wasn't the one that brought in Aubameyang.
That's not happening. I don't think the Chelsea fans will even allow that. Like, he's not playing for Chelsea ever again.
So honestly, now the fans are deciding what
there's Aubameyang. They just called him in they put up his stats and just said, yeah, you're not good enough, bro. And then left him there, bro. So yeah, he's getting sold too. Like, Barcelona wants him back. Like, they can have him for free. And Lukaku better start to learn that Chinese because he's going. Like he's going somewhere. Not Chelsea, but he's going somewhere.
We gonna end on that note. Hopefully Chelsea does sell certain players and they get back to trying to fight for at least top 4 or something. But that was our episode 19. So I want to make sure you guys know to always make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you watch all our videos. Let us know in the comments who you think should be Chelsea's next manager. And we'll see you guys next week.